Welcome everyone to the Enlisted Research Summit. Thank you, Chloe and LiveProof, for this lovely rendition of Enlisted Ballad to Mariana. And I'm Livia Labate, and I'm one of the organizers of the summit. And I'm very happy to see you all. And welcome back to those who joined us last week for orientation. It was great to see you again. But it's especially lovely to see so many new faces. We have 3 days packed with potential planned ahead of us, and to help us scale this mountain together successfully, we have a few prep items we want to go over. So first, let's talk about why we're here, then what it would be like to do this together. We'll also explore the different ways we're going to collaborate and get an overview of all the topics that we'll cover with the program. Please use chat to ask any pressing questions that come up, and the Summit Squad will answer them. So, why are we here?
That was a shit night.
We are here because of Enlister. Whether you came to Enlister through Gentleman Jack, or the many wonderful books published about her, or from a curiosity stemmed from growing up in Halifax and occasionally hearing about this unusual lady, she has captured your attention and interest. Whatever your specific interest and whichever facet of Enlister intrigues you the most, what we'll already share is an understanding of how remarkable she was. And so this week we celebrated her life on the anniversary of her death, and honoring her legacy and recognizing her place in history. Yet there is so much that we don't understand yet, and so much to be unearthed. And this is why we research. So, Anne Choma put it best the other day while promoting this event. She said, Enlister climbed plenty of summits in her life, physically and emotionally. And in this spirit, we want to gain a deeper appreciation of those challenges and successes and losses, and help the world see Enlister for who she was, as well as what she represents. So this event came about because, like many of you, I started looking into more of Enlister's life independently and found community in others who were doing the same. And as we all connected online across the globe, and many exchanges always seem to end up with, we should get together and talk about this. And while many of us were deprived from the opportunity to gather in Halifax earlier this year to celebrate Anne's birthday due to the global pandemic, these conversations never stopped. They only grew. And so we decided to make this happen. So this event belongs in a larger context of ongoing, open, collaborative research. And our goal for the next 3 days are to share the information we have today and help you connect with other people. And that's it. We hope you enjoy it. So now let's talk about what we expect of each other with Amanda.
Hello, everybody. We felt so inspired by Enlister and so many of the things that she means to so many people. We decided that we wanted to put an event together, and I want to introduce some of the values that underpin this Enlister Research Summit. First of all, everything that we do is about Anne. She was a person who lived over 180 years ago, and to us, there's so much about her that's interesting. She had a great sense of humor, she enjoyed shocking people, and she was also deeply self-reflective about herself. We know that she wasn't perfect, and none of us are perfect either, but we want to honor her legacy and recognize the good, the bad, and the ugly, sometimes ugly. When it comes to Anne, we're curious but respectful. We want to engage in debate and have great conversations, but all while bearing in mind that she was actually a real person, and we're all real people too. Openness is also something that we value and is important. The main reason we put together this event is because this group of people who have organized this, we were finding that we were talking about things together and having light bulb moments and realizations that we could learn and share information with each other and collectively learn more. We're hopeful that you're going to have the same experiences at the summit as we've been having with each other too. Finally, we want to learn from each other in a supportive environment. This requires acknowledging sometimes that someone might know a bit more than you, and sometimes people might disagree, and that's absolutely fine. We also recognize that while being online is great and allows us to explore many different avenues that may not be open to us otherwise, English is not the first language for some people here, and that's absolutely fine if you're not comfortable. Some of us have more comfort level with technology than others, and that's absolutely fine. And we want you to know that we'll be here to help at any point during this weekend if you need any assistance with anything. We're going to have a lot of fun this weekend, and that's a big point I want to stress. This is going to be a lot of fun, but it's also going to be super educational, and we just want you to have a good time. We want the summit to remain safe, inclusive, and welcoming for everybody. And I'll pass you over to Chloe.
Hi everybody. So the summit is designed to be a welcoming space for people to engage, learn and begin discussions in a respectful environment. In order to keep this a safe space for all participants, we do have a code of conduct, which is if you're attending the summit right now, you've already agreed to with your registration. We hope this won't be needed, but if anyone does break the code of conduct, then we do reserve the right to intervene and potentially eject you from the event. Hopefully this won't be necessary. There will be a summit member of staff in all sessions keeping an eye on things. If you do need to get in touch with us for any reason, you can get in touch via email or Twitter throughout the whole summit. The last thing to mention is that taking screenshots is effectively the same as taking a photo of someone without their permission. So we explicitly ask that you do not do this during the summit. As well as this, people will be sharing really interesting images and documents and photos that they have permission to share with the summit group, but these are not for further sharing. Let's all make good decisions and look after each other.
So the Ann Lister Research Summit will see the use of a variety of session formats. So what can you expect? We have a mixture of workshops, panels, show and tells and discussions. In a workshop, an instructor or multiple will guide you, the participant, through a series of actions and activities with a Q&A according to that instructor. Examples of these sessions include timelines and story maps. In a panel, a moderator will engage panelists in a discussion about a variety of topics within a theme. You, the participant, will observe and a Q&A might happen at the end. Session etiquette about that Q&A will be handled using Zoom's Q&A feature, which you will find on the bottom bar of your Zoom screen, so participants can send in questions during the panel discussion. Sessions like these will include the Women of Ann Lister's Journals, which is on Sunday. Then we have shows and tells. In this format, presenters will briefly expose a topic to an audience of participants. Participants will observe and a Q&A might take place at the end. Sessions include The Listers and Halifax with David Glover and Sarah Rose. And finally, we have discussions. And in a discussion, a facilitator will engage all session participants in a group conversation. Again, there's a little bit of etiquette surrounding this and how to signal a desire to speak, and that will be handled using Zoom's raise hand feature, which is also on the bottom of your Zoom screen. And now for a summary of day one.
All right, so day one, we are currently in our welcome session, talking about what to expect, obviously, throughout this whole weekend. But after we're finished talking about this, we are going to end this particular session of the welcome with a little bit of a group activity, which will be our first round of Lister Bingo. Coming up after this, we have the History of Research session with Jill Liddington, who will fill us in on the work of researchers who have come before and explored Ann Lister's life to date. Then we've got digging through the archives, because sometimes you want to explore but have no idea where to start. And I know some of us are itching to pay a visit to the archives as soon as we're allowed to. So this session will help us prepare. That way we can make the most of our time when we get there. After that, we'll talk about Ann's diaries and papers, any of those documents that would be held at the archives, what exists there at West Yorkshire Archive Service and elsewhere. Followed by a session with the Ann Lister Codebreakers, who will answer questions about what it's like participating in the West Yorkshire Archive Service transcription project with Ann's journals, and also describe their experiences of what it's like working within the pages of those journals. So after that, we have another session looking at Ann's handwriting in a completely different way, but a very cool session exploring her crypthand through typography. And then lastly, we will wrap day one of the summit with more Lister Bingo and give everybody a chance to just mingle and chat with each other and share their thoughts in the water closet. And Marlene is going to tell us about day two.
So day 2 starts with a conversation with Dr. Daniel Orr about Anne Lister's time in Paris and the relationship with Mrs. Barlow and the local society. Later in the day, we'll have a discussion about Anne Lister's travels with a group of people who have been transcribing and researching Anne's adventures. Get your portmanteau ready and crampons and join us for a session filled with adventures, though sadly we have no goats. And if you're into Anne's travels and into cool projects, why not join Amanda and learn how to create a story map? I mean, that's fun. After all those travels, let's join Anne Choma and Dr. Anna Clark in a conversation about Anne Lister's sex life, facilitated by Ty Ginter. Then we'll move on to all the Team Mariana fun and join Chantel in a session packed with interesting details about Mariana and all the Welcomes. If you ever wanted to see what they're all about, do not miss this. Finally, we'll close the day with Lister Trivia. You'll team up with the other participants and answer several rounds of Lister-related questions. Lovely prizes, bragging rights, and the satisfaction of a job well done await the winning team. And throughout all the day, we'll have also Lister Bingo and fun chats in the water closet, so be sure to not miss those.
Excellent. Hey, everybody. So on to day 3, a super busy day. Obviously, we're all been together all weekend, but this will be like us just getting started. So we're going to start the day with queerness, mobility, and duality, and with Megan Travener. And so as a queer person and someone from the rural parts of America and a lover of Anne Lister, this is going to be really exciting. So that will be a discussion. We'll kick off next with an interactive historical timeline workshop. I don't know if you all have seen the Anne Lister timeline and the Mariana timeline, but just imagine a timeline for everybody in the journals. How exciting would that be? So this is where you get to learn how to make those. Next, we are going to follow up with the Listers in Halifax with David Glover and Sarah Rose. And so, of course, jam-packed with all sorts of information. We will follow that up with the Lister Coat of Arms with Lynn Scholes. If anybody needs any tattoo ideas, I don't know if you've seen Bika's rendition of this Lister Coat of Arms, but it's amazing. So go find a tattoo artist, and I want to see somebody get this tattooed. Then, really exciting, we're going to move on to the women of Anne Lister's journals, and we're going to be covering 8 women. Obviously, we could go all day, but it's going to be a 50-minute session covering 8 women, trying to get as much information as we can and letting everybody know all of the things that is still out there to find about them. Next, you do not want to miss the Miss Anne Walker session with Marlene. So this is going to be another, even if you're not Team Walker, or if you are, this is going to be an awesome session. So definitely do not miss that, because following that, we're going to hit up the All About Anne. And so this is a whole hour with Helena Whitbread and Alex Holbrook talking all things Anne. So like, imagine if you were to create her Tinder profile, this would be like what we're talking about. Like, does Anne Lister like cat memes? I don't know, but we will find out. And then we're gonna finish that with the What's Next for Anne Lister with Lori Shannon and Livia Labate, and talk about all of the cool research upcoming, all of the cool projects, and how every single person can participate in some way. So that's going to be exciting. And then, of course, last but not least, one of my favorite parts is the party. And we are going to close out with a really cool final group activity with Shibden After Dark's Mary Schwartz, and a really cool BYOB Ask Me Anything with the Summit Squad facilitated by Anne Choma. So do not miss that.
Hi everyone, we are very happy and very excited to be here with all of you to discuss Anne Lister's life and our times. We are hoping to develop new collaboration, whether you have done research already or you have a topic of interest that you want to explore but you don't know where to start. We are all here to learn together and to share knowledge. Remember, if you have any hard time with anything, or if you have any question during your session, you can use chat and someone will help. feel free to live tweet about the event during the weekend using the hashtag #AnnListerSummit.
Okay, as we head into a really busy weekend, and we've got a packed schedule and something hopefully to appeal to everyone here. And we want to thank you for joining us. And we've been really blown away by the reaction to the program and all the conversations on Twitter already. So we're really looking forward to kind of carrying that on through the weekend. What you might not have realized is you're actually currently in the water closet. This is the digital water closet, and the next activity is going to be right here in the water closet. It's going to be a round of diary reading with a twist. But I will pause here. I haven't seen any questions come up in the chat, but if you have any questions, do kind of pop them in there now, and we'll have a quick look at them. And before we carry on, I'm just going to explain what is going to happen with our diary reading. So our diary reading is Ann Lister Bingo. You should have received by email a bingo card that may be in your junk folder. It was in my junk folder, so maybe have a quick check there if you haven't seen it. And on that card, you'll find some phrases or statements or things that if you've read a lot of Ann Lister's diaries will be quite familiar to you. So look at your card, get it ready, be ready for the Lister Bingo sessions. And when as the readings are being read to you, check off things, and when you get a full card, you can shout no goats if you want, or you can email your full card to bingo@annlisterresearchsummit.org, and you do get an actual prize, a real high quality, great item that will be something to remember the entire weekend by for the rest of your life. Just going on, I'm seeing a question from Patricia. Now that we're in, are we in for good? So the link that you have got for this Zoom session that you had in your Eventbrite, that is the link that you pop back into every time you want to come to the water closet. So you can use it for chatting throughout the sessions. We will be posting it in the chat at the end of each session as well, just to remind you if you haven't kind of saved it somewhere. But yes, now, oh, Patricia says she found the links in Eventbrite. I'm going to ask Steph or possibly Chantel to message Patricia directly about that. And now, on behalf of the Summit Squad, I'm going to hand over to Amanda Walgrove for the first round of bingo.